Thank you very much for your introduction, dear friends. At the very beginning, I would like to say thank you to the organizers for at least three things. First, for the very well organized conference, very well organized seminar. And this is my first experience cooperating with you, and I'm coming back to Macedonia with very positive thoughts. Also, I would like to say thank you to the all attractive lecturers that were invited, and also I'm very happy, I'm very glad that I had a chance to learn, to hear, to analyze different perspectives about different things related with the European integrations from different countries, but all of them with one idea, and that is to find a way how all those processes related with the European integrations to be better and to be smoother. And also the third, the last but not the least, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to come to Budapest and to see all the good architecture, good people and restaurants, and staying here for 2 days. Dear friends, I would like to discuss about the institutional reforms into the European Union from the perspective of one candidate country. This is Macedonia. As you can see out of the title of the presentation, I would like to pay bigger and better and more deeper attention to certain Macedonian experiences related to the process of the European integrations. All of the states which are part of the European continent, they have their own unique experiences related to the process of European integration. Some of those unique experiences are positive, some of those experiences are not so positive, but Macedonia is one of those states who are having European perspective, who are having European ambitions, which is having not so positive, I would say very negative experiences because of some bilateral and other issues that we are having with certain neighboring countries who are part of the European Union, and we are not, and having in mind all the ways how the process of adopting the decisions is going on in the European Union. We are facing all those decades while we are an independent country, certain problems and certain things that needs to be overcome. The approach to any problem begins with the analyzing of the reasons for its existence. When we are analyzing the European Union from the perspective of a country candidate for the membership, such as Republic of Macedonia is, at least 4 questions need to be answered in order, at the end of the discussion, some solutions to be proposed. The first question is, what is the idea behind the existence of the European Union? Since we are discussing about the integration of some states into the European Union, then it is necessary at the very beginning to give short and appropriate answer to the question about the idea which is staying behind the existence of some, behind the entering of some states into the European Union and behind the existence of the European Union. The short answer to this question would be that overall the idea behind the existence of the European Union is to foster the peace, the stability and the prosperity in Europe, as you know, by promoting the cooperation, economical integration and protection of fundamental rights among its member states. But the following question is, what is and why is it essential to expand the European Union with new member states like Macedonia? Expanding the European Union with new member states can bring several benefits and contribute to the overall objectives of the European Union. The first is the issue of reconciliation and integration. European Union expansion is crucial in promoting reconciliation and integration among countries that have experienced historical conflicts. By joining the European Union, the countries like Republic of Macedonia can work together within a common framework, fostering mutual understanding, establishing cooperation and shared European identity. The second objective is achieving of the regional stability and cooperation. Expanding of the European Union, as we know, helps stabilize regions. Also, European Union integration can contribute to regional stability, resolve disputes, peacefully and foster collaboration between neighboring countries by promoting economical integration, cross-border cooperation, and shared policies also. Answers to the first two questions led us to my first thesis of this short speech. The first thesis is the following, that the expansion of the European Union, according to my deep thinking, represents a practical realization of the basic meaning of the existence of this union, which is the promotion of peace and cooperation between the states and peoples of the European continent, but also the vice versa situation. The unfair blocking of this process is a blow to the values on which the European Union rests. However, regardless of this fact, the reality is showing to us that there are various problems related to the realizing these vital tasks of the European Union, namely its expansion with new member states. The following third question arises from here. What are the most significant problems related to the European Union enlargement process? We can find plenty of problems, but I think that three are most, I would say, significant. The first one is the public opinion and Euroscepticism. Public opinion, as we know, plays a vital role in the European Union enlargement process. Some European Union member states have witnessed increasing Euroscepticism and overall skepticism towards the further enlargement of the European Union. Concerns about economical competition, immigration, loss of sovereignty and cultural identity can influence public opinion and create challenges for the expansion of the European Union. Second, this is the issue of the political stability and regional conflicts. Enlargement also, according to some member states and according to some governments, can bring challenges related to regional stability and unresolved conflicts. Candidate countries with ongoing unresolved conflicts or disputes may require additional efforts to achieve stability and ensure peaceful relations with neighboring countries. Also, the third significant problem why we are having so-called problems overcoming the process of European integration is related with the European Union cohesion and integration. Expanding the European Union can strain cohesion and integration among its member states. Different economical, social, and cultural contexts can lead to tensions and differences in policy preferences. Balancing the interests and needs of all member states while maintaining a sense of unity and common purpose is an ongoing challenge. Apart from these objective circumstances related to the dynamics of the expansion of the European Union, there are also subjective circumstances. From there, it is essential to elaborate on the following fourth issue, and that is how do some member states abuse the European Union's enlargement policy to prevent other states with European perspective from joining this union. The answer through the prism of the Macedonian experience is in three most common ways. The first form of abusement of the mechanisms of the European Union by the member states to prevent other states from joining the European Union is the so-called political conditions and unresolved disputes. Existing member states may impose strict political conditions or use unresolved disputes to hinder aspiring member states' progress. These conditions could be related to the democratic governance, the rule of law, minority rights, or territorial disputes. Member states can effectively delay or complicate the accession process by setting high standards, sometimes very high standards, or raising objections. The second way how this process of enlargement can be abused is by so-called accession negotiation deadlocks. Member states also can create deadlock situation during the accession negotiations where they refuse to compromise or agree on specific terms. This can stall the progress of aspiring member states and prolong the negotiations process indefinitely. member states can also effectively hinder accession process by obstructing negotiations on specific chapters or demanding exceptional conditions. And the third way is the so-called bilateral disputes and veto power. Member states also hold veto power, as we know, over the accession process of another member states. This means that the single member state can block the entry of an aspiring member state, and in bilateral disputes or in strained relations between member states and the aspiring members, the existing member state may use its veto power to prevent the accession. Various motivations can drive these processes, including historical grievances, territorial disputes, or political disagreements. Considering the above, I share my following thesis in this presentation, and that is namely the history of the integration of the Republic of Macedonia into the European Union is the most vivid and unfortunate example of the open abuse of decision-making processes and decision-making mechanisms in the European Union by certain member states, not by whole European Union. The best argumentation of this position can be found in answer to the question, how long did it last 3 countries that joined the European Union to enter into the European Union? In this sense, I'm thinking about the Bulgaria, the Romania, and of course, our good neighbor, Croatia. We know that in the case of Romania and Bulgaria, the negotiations with the European Union lasted 5 years, and in the case of Croatia, the negotiations lasted 6 years. In the contrast to the mentioned states, the Republic of Macedonia, with more or less similar economical growth, with more or less similar political and legal problems, has been a candidate state for membership into the European Union since 2005. And in 2002, the decision to start membership negotiations was made, but still the negotiations are not going on. This means that Republic of Macedonia waited 17 long years from the recognition that it was a candidate state to the formal start of the negotiations for membership in the European Union. Suppose this is added to the statement that the formal diplomatic relations between Macedonia and the European Union began 5 years after the declaration of the independence of our country, that is in 1995, the picture can be complete. What we can conclude that out of the 33 years of independence of Republic of Macedonia, 23 years this state has not progressed in its integration into the European Union due to the various blockage and unprincipled moves by other member states. This long-term open practice has led, among other things, to excessive growth of Euroscepticism in Macedonia. This fact, in today's conditions of changed geopolitics after the start of the Russian military aggression over Ukraine, also represent a very big problem for European Union itself. To capture the magnitude of this problem, I'll share with you some more specific data. Namely, a month ago, with the office of one German foundation in Skopje, we conducted a public opinion survey. The name of that foundation is Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. We've made a public opinion survey, and some of the data I will show today, I will present to you. Okay, slide number 6. According to those data, as you can see, currently only 62.3 of all Macedonians percentage, 62.3% of all Macedonian citizens, including the minorities, that means everybody, are supporting the European integration of North Macedonia into the European Union. Number 2, at the beginning of 2014, that means 9 years ago, the support of the citizens for membership in the European Union was 82%, which means that 9 years later, the support has decreased by massive 20%. Number three, at this moment, only 54.4% of ethnic Macedonians support the membership of the Republic of Macedonia in the European Union, which is historically the lowest result. That means that almost a relative majority of all Macedonian citizens are not in favor of integration of the state into the European Union. Slide number 7. Regarding when Macedonia will join the European Union, according to the latest data, the largest group consists of respondents who believe that this will never happen ever. That is 39.3%. Compared to 1 year ago, to the 2022 survey, this group who thinks that Macedonia will never join the EU has grown by 11.3%. According to the same poll that we've done 1 month ago, a vast 50.1% of ethnic Macedonians believe that Macedonia will never join EU. 39.3 out of all citizens, but 50.1 out of the ethnic Macedonians who are majority in this state, which is an absolute majority. At the moment, the negotiations for the membership of Macedonia in the European Union, which were formally opened, are at another risk to be blocked again. This time not by our southern neighbor, but by our eastern neighbor, that is Republic of Bulgaria. The reason for that is the announcement of a new blockade of Macedonian European integration, this time, as I've told you, by the Republic of Bulgaria. If this announcement comes true, I believe, and this is my projection, this is my position, that the citizens' perception about European Union itself will be probably be at similar level as is the perception of the quality of the bilateral relations between Macedonia and Bulgaria. And we are coming to slide number 8. According to these data, 72.1% of all respondents are thinking that the relations between Macedonia and Bulgaria are bad or very bad. If this practice continue, I think that the day when all citizens will think the same about the relations with the European Union will be on this level. And we are approaching to the last slide in order to have complete picture about all kind of influences, tendencies, and problems that Macedonia is facing, but in the situation of the changed geopolitics, I think that this is the potential problem also for the European Union, for the Europe itself. On a group of separately asked questions about the influence of selected countries and alliances of countries in the internal Macedonian political, economical, and security trends, the respondents evaluated the influence of Turkey as the most positive, with 58% positive impressions. 38.7% of respondents assess the European Union's influence as positive, representing a difference of 19.3, almost 20% in favor of Turkey. Dear friends, since I'm having 2 minutes, of course, the thinking how to find a way to overcome these problems is very urgent, I would say, but also is something that needs to be think not only by Macedonia itself because we are having problems, also by the European Union, because the problems that we are facing today, maybe it will be the problems that the Europe will face tomorrow. And there are plenty of ways. I was thinking about 5 of them, the following 5, I think that it is necessary to find a way to make the European Union institutions to be more strong. I think that the enhancing of the effectiveness and the independence of the European Union institutions, such as the European Commission, can help to ensure a fair and impartial evaluation of the aspiring member states. The second way is to find a way how the transparency and accountability within the European Union institutions to be bigger and better. Since I don't have a time, I will not elaborate all my ideas. I will use the opportunity to share my thoughts on these issues if there are questions about that. The third thing, according to me, very important issue is to find a way to make consensus building and mediations within the European Union and between the European Union states and states who are having European perspective, to find a way to make more stronger the solidarity and cohesion between the European Union member states and the states with the European perspective, and also to find a way how the process of enlargement to go according to some rules which are already declared and according to some statements and given promises which are already declared by the politicians and by the institutions of the European Union. Because if there is a place and if there is a state where there were false promises about the process of integration, of course Macedonia is one of them, because as I've told you before, out of the 33 years of independence with similar economical, political and other conditions, in some areas even better conditions compared with the newest member states of the European Union, out of the 33 years of independence, Macedonia 23 years is staying at the same place. Why? Because of the unprincipled moves of the states who are part of the European Union and we are not part of them, and misusing, jeopardizing all kind of mechanisms in order to stop this process of entering of Macedonia into the European Union. Because of that unprincipled political attitude, we are facing political problems where the citizens are not supporting in that big way the European integrational processes, and in the same time they are starting to think about some other states and about some other alliances which are having completely different cultural, political, civilizational and other origin and characteristics compared with Macedonia and with the European Union itself. Thank you very much.